Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the What Are We Doing podcast. My name's Levi McCurdy, and this is episode 205. And this week we're on the couch. If you're not, please join us. This is where I've been all week long. Listen, just relax, get on the couch. Let's just enjoy this episode together. It's going to be a bumpy ride, as this week has been. Listen, it's been a week. Okay, this is where I've been all week. I haven't moved from this spot. I don't know how else to handle or process what's going on in the world. And at the end of the day, this is where we're at. We're here, and this is how we have to live. This is what we have to live with. This is the society and the world that we are all creating for future generations and our kids to live in. And it's kind of disgusting, and I don't really know how to handle it. You know, it's funny, all my friends were texting me this week when the news broke, and like their number one thing was like, Levi, how are you gonna handle the story? How are you gonna talk about? And I'm like, how am I gonna handle the story on the podcast? I'm not handling the news very well, just in general, let alone know how I'm going to cover it here. But basically, this is where we're at.
Before we begin, let me express the horror and grief so many Americans at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk have felt. Charlie was a giant of his generation, a champion of liberty, and an inspiration to millions and millions of people. Our prayers are with his wonderful wife, Eric, and his beautiful children. Fantastic people they are. We miss him greatly, yet I have no doubt that Charlie's voice and the courage he put into the hearts of countless people, especially young people, will live on. I'm pleased to announce that I will soon be awarding Charlie Kirk posthumously the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Look, man, this is where we're at. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. I was literally just this last Friday, reason number 4 as to why there wasn't a podcast last week. All last weekend, Friday and Saturday and Sunday, we had weddings, events, DJing, Dunkin' Donuts, weddings. Like, it's nonstop work was last weekend to be had. And so I just unfortunately didn't have time to record the pod. And then, of course, with the news this week. So last Friday, like plenty of time before this even happened, I was literally just talking to Justin about Charlie Kirk and how, you know, we both kind of have this weird relationship with him, you know, like we watch his clips and we don't fully agree. You know what I mean? I feel like the country is divided in the sense that not everyone fully agrees with Charlie. Some people do, some people don't. You either fall on the left side or the right side of his opinions. And, you know, it was pretty blatantly clear and obvious where he stood as a content creator and a debater and just everything that he stood for. And so do we necessarily agree with everything Charlie Kirk has said? No, 100% not. You know what I mean? There are some insane things and philosophies and understanding and when it comes to religion and just his belief system, you know what I mean? We don't always have to 100% agree with everybody, but what we cannot do is start permanently and just blatantly assassinating them for those opinions. And so at the end of the day, we don't really know how to process this. For the first time in the country's history, we all witnessed what happened up close, in person. You saw it, I saw it, we all saw the video as if we were standing there live in the front row at that event. It was on our algorithms, it was on our feeds, it was inevitable. If you are a living soul and you've been on TikTok in the last 72 hours, you have seen and witnessed exactly what happened, unfortunately, to Mr. Charlie Kirk, and it is a situation as where, the systems, the platforms, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, as quickly as they are attempting to take down these videos, more and more arise, because this is the world that we live in, to the point where if you have the most views, you are winning, even if it is at the hands and lives of actual people. And so you saw it, I saw it, and we can't unsee it. Okay, and this is the second problem that we need to bring to light with the assassination of Mr. Charlie Kirk, is that we now live in a world where we don't get to choose, and it is just there. We don't get to choose whether we want to see it or not. It's one scroll, one tiny scroll past what you were just watching on your little tiny box that's in your pocket, that you are now forced to witness what the horrific events of just a few days ago took place. We've all seen it. You can't unsee it. And the fact that we can't choose, I mean, listen, it was just yesterday, it was 9/11. And if anyone listening was of age to remember what happened on those days, I'll tell you, the first thing that was different between September 10th, 2025, the day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated just a few days ago, and 9/11, 2001, is didn't really have social media. Okay, social media wasn't really a thing. The iPhone definitely wasn't a thing. We didn't get that till 6 years later. And so when we all, as children, our parents were adults, some of us our age now, wherever that age gap was, we knew the news that was given to us about 9/11 in the form of how it was given to us. All we remember and all we were told was, hey, school is letting out early, and B, your parents are coming to pick you up, school's letting out early, and we're not really at liberty to tell you what just happened because, parents, teachers are meant to teach, and parents are meant to educate beyond that as they see fit for their children. So when Sandy Dunkel picked us up from school that day, naturally we were like, hey, what happened? And she was like, oh, well, there was something happened. It's on the news. I got to figure it out. I'll tell you later. And it wasn't until years later, through the history books and the documentaries and the social media that followed the events of the iPhone in 2007 and beyond, that we actually learned the truth of what happened back on that September day. And so, but unfortunately, with TikTok and the way things work now in 2025, minutes after Charlie Kirk is shot, we have a video uploaded to TikTok and Instagram. Moments after that, we have the president announcing the horrific events. And moments after that, we have the president announcing the very swiftly passing of Mr. Charlie Kirk. And it's one of those situations that it has divided us into three categories. It has divided the nation into three categories. It is those who have fully supported Charlie from the beginning of his career to everything he stood for, him as a person, a family man, a debater, everything that he did within his business, Turning Point, everything that Charlie Kirk was and ever will be, that are those who followed him. Category number one. Category number two were those of us who knew of him, didn't necessarily agree with everything he said, but hey, you've got, freedom of speech, you do you. He made a business out of it, that entrepreneur mindset, good for him. Way to go, Charlie. You know what I mean? I'm not going to show up at one of his events and be like, hey, what's a baby? Like, hey, I was born one gender and now I'm not. Explain that to me, Charlie. I'm not going to do that because, you know what I mean? It's not my place. It's not where we're at. We're in the middle, as we always are when it comes to the politics of this country. It is best to just be in the middle, because when you're on one side versus the other, now we have category number three, and that is those of who were on the side of the shooter. And he who must not be named, you can find his name. They just took him into custody a few moments ago. We have Donald Trump on Fox and Friends this morning letting us know that they have the man in custody. Take a look.
Yeah, I think that I don't want to go too far. I'd like to tell you some stories at how it happened, but essentially somebody that was very close to him turned him in. And that happens when you had some of those good shots. Somebody is going to say, whether it's a parent or whatever, I'd rather not say right now. They're going to announce it today, sometime later, probably talk about that. But somebody close to him turned him in. You know, they said, whoa. It's interesting where we had very good pictures, but not great, not perfect. And when you look at it, what happened is somebody, and this happens a lot. It happened with the crazy Boston bomber. It happened with others. Somebody that's close recognizes even a little tilt of the head, which nobody else would do. And somebody that was very close to him said, that's him. And essentially went to the father, went to a U.S. Marshal, who was fantastic, by the way. And the person was involved with law enforcement, but was a person of faith, a minister. And brought him to a U.S. Marshal, who was fantastic. And the father convinced the son, this is it. And again, I'm always subject to be corrected, but you know, I'm just giving you, based on what I'm hearing, they'll give you a much more active. I just heard about it 5 minutes before I walked in. As I'm walking in, they said, looking real good. They have the person that they wanted. So you have breaking news,
don't you? They have breaking news, always at Fox News. I mean, it's a situation where it needs to be thoroughly investigated. This needs to be 100% the guy. And I mean, can we all just agree that it should be like the highest whatever of the law as far as a punishment for this kid? It's another 20-year-old kid. He got a full ride to Utah College. I mean, his family is a church-going Democrat through and through. I mean, it is a situation where I don't know how to process it. I don't know how to process it. And what's even crazier is that we have full-grown men now on social media that are celebrating this man's death. I don't understand how we have gotten to such a place in this country to the point where people that I went to school with, people that I went to college with, people who have college degrees, college educations, that I now have to have had blocked. I have blocked like 12 people in the last 24 hours. I have had to block multiple educated people who I thought were smart, who I thought were very smart, which is why I'm friends with them in the first place. You know what I mean? Surround yourself with the people. It makes sense. I thought for a minute that me and the people that I connected with on more than just whatever type of a basic friend versus a really good friend on that type of level are now, I will never talk to them again. I will never talk to them again because we have other grown men that you know, that you're related to, that you talk to, that you are still supporting on social media, celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. Now, I get it. Charlie Kirk has probably said some crazy and wild things in his day. You know what I mean? Do we have to agree with what everyone says? No. You don't agree with half the shit I say on this podcast, and I would pray to God, a God that I don't believe in, that you, listening to this podcast, don't agree with half the shit that I say on a weekly basis, would not come to an event that I am hosting and have the audacity to put a bullet in my fucking neck. We are grown men. You can disagree with him in any way you want. But at the end of the day, the man is a father. He is a husband. He is a professional. He is a friend. And you have the audacity, just because of words that came out of his mouth, you have the audacity to celebrate his death? You're blocked. Get out. Fuck off. We are at the point where society is crumbling. We are at the point now where it is all hands on deck. You need to delete social media. If anyone on your feed this week is celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, get them, never speak to them again. It is time to cancel your family. It is time to seriously dwindle down the friends list. It is time to seriously reconsider that 150 guest list that you got coming to your wedding next year. If you have more than 17 people attending your wedding next year, it's too many. I am telling you, it is time to cancel your best friend. It is time to cancel your family. It is time. If they are celebrating this man's death, they do not deserve to be in your life. And if you disagree with me, turn it off now. Turn it off now. I mean, where are we at? When will enough be enough? Let me just ask that question. For those of you who are still listening and still mad and still kind of on my team, when will enough be enough? What is it? One a day? One a week? Because if it's one a week, we've got it. We're there. We've got one mass shooting a week in this country, one elementary school, college campus, high school cafeteria shooting in this country every week, at least one. What do you want? One a day? Because we're almost there. We are almost there, folks. We are almost at the point where we are at 365, 24/7, once a day. The amount of times you should be on social media every day. We have a mass the day Charlie died, guess what? There was another school shooting right down the road. It is now, we are at multiple times a day where we are giving young adults, children, 20-year-olds, adults who are seemingly mentally functioning on a daily basis, are obtaining rifles, getting on top of roofs, walking into schools, and murdering innocent people in this country. When will enough be enough? Is it once a day? And listen, the argument is insane. The argument from the left and especially the right is if you take the guns away, that's not going to be okay. We cannot follow suit. We cannot be like Australia. We cannot be like every other country on the planet that, let alone, has universal health care, basic income, and strict gun laws. Guess what? They're thriving. And so the argument there, I get it. Your Second Amendment right, your freedom of speech, your right to bear arms. Well, guess what? Some of those rules were written a bunch of years ago, like 200 plus years ago. And so maybe it's time to make some updates to the Constitution. Okay, if it is that easy for a 20-year-old, for a 17-year-old, for a 14-year-old to get access to a weapon, to then get somewhere of power and boop, take out a couple people, it's too fucking easy. So, you know what I mean? The argument is, well, Levi, if the government were to step in, if the government were to take the guns away, they could get radical, okay? The right to bear arms is to not only protect us against each other, but against the government. You know what I mean? Hey, what if Trump hypothetically, what if Trump were to put, the military in the streets of the city? We need our guns, Levi, to protect ourselves. I have the right to bear arms. I have my license. I know how to safely have a gun. You know what I mean? I keep it in the glove box of my car, says my brother-in-law. And if you were to go to him and say, hey, we're cracking down, there's a new law in place, we've unfortunately have to take your gun away, it would become an issue. Because then if the government can take your guns away, Lord knows what they could do next. I mean, could you imagine a world, just for a moment, stick with me, would you imagine a world where if the government were to step in and maybe just make a few types of laws that would maybe start protecting more of the United States citizens against these attacks, make it a little bit harder for the people who should have guns to get them. It's fine, pass one more test and you can keep your gun. But for everyone else, we're going to take them away. Could you imagine like what people think that if we were to give up our guns, the government would suddenly lose their minds and start doing crazy things? You know what I mean? But let's just imagine what that would actually look like. Maybe, just maybe, after the government takes your guns away, they might start, I don't know, spying on everyone, tracking phone calls, reading your emails, building like massive databases of your private data and information without warrants or your permission. You know, or I don't know, maybe they'd throw people in prison without charges, hold them indefinitely, call them enemy combatants, and maybe torture them in secret prisons overseas, all while insisting that it's for your protection. It's for your freedom. You know what I mean? Maybe, I don't know, maybe the government, once they're done taking the guns away, would authorize drone strikes that kill civilians, shrug it off as collateral damage, and keep starting endless wars overseas, funding wars overseas, these proxy wars. Maybe the government would start doing that once they take your guns away. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe the CIA or other intelligence agencies of America would spy on U.S. senators, shred their own evidence, call it classified, walk away, maybe send the elites to engage in some form of sexual activity on a private island with a billionaire. And then when said billionaire is ready to testify about all the politicians that were actually on the island engaging in all those activities, was about to testify, they'd have him killed. Maybe then they do things like that once they take the guns away. And the funny part is, they're doing all that shit now. So when do you think enough will be enough? Do we need 3 more assassinations in this country? Do we need 5 more mass shootings in schools? What do we need for you to realize enough is enough? You know what I mean? And it's just at the end of the day, for those of you who are celebrating the death of this man, shame on you. Get off the internet. It is one of the most disgusting parts of this entire event. It is disgusting. It is disgusting to see grown men and women celebrating this man. Yeah, sure, we disagree with what he said, but calm down, dude. And I mean, just seeing his friends, his family. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Candace Owens, great Candace Owens, again, another online personality that you don't have to completely agree with, but hey, have you listened to Candace Owens? Have you listened to what she has done to the people of France and the entire story that she busted open on her own about the president of France being married to a biological man who transitioned into a woman later in life, only to find out that person is related to the president of France? I don't know. The Brigitte Macron story is utterly insane. So whether you agree with Candace Owens' religion, her politics, or anything else along the lines of, I don't know, her opinion, she has some good fucking points. And so, you know what I mean? There's no Charlie, there's no Charlie Kirk without Candace Owens, and vice versa. They were best friends. They started their business together. They put each other on. And it is, if you haven't seen To My Friend Charlie Kirk by Candace Owens, it is a 23-minute eulogy that is probably the most perfect summing of Charlie's life. It is the most perfect definition of Charlie Kirk. It is the most perfect message to Charlie Kirk and his family. I mean, it honestly doesn't get better than what Candace Owens had to say about her late friend, Charlie Kirk. We're not going to watch the whole thing here. I have a couple timestamps. I mean, this is one of them. Just hearing Candace talk about Charlie in this way, I was laying in bed last night watching this entire video from start to finish, and by the end of it, I was in tears. I had to turn on a movie just to distract me to get my mind off of it. Listen to this. I'm
You know
shaking.
that you're very aware that your salary comes from donors. He always wanted to be a really good steward of their capital. But eventually, Don and Eric got him a gift certificate, I think it was for his birthday, to a fancy suit place to go get fitted. And the rest is future, right? It is so important for me to make sure that you guys understand how absolutely hilarious Charlie was. Charlie was hilarious, okay? He did not take himself too seriously. He was so good at doing imitations and
Subscribe
accents.
to Candace
Any
Owens, by the way.
imitation, any accent, he was just on the money. And all we did was laugh. It's all you can do and laugh. People were just so crazy all the time. When I was reading through the chat today, I was just laughing with just tears in my eyes, thinking of the many road trips that we took, so many hours spent just talking trash to one another, making fun of one another. One of the best moments that I can think of, and there's so many to choose from, was we were driving through Colorado, and I put on a Kanye song, on my playlist, and Charlie goes, "Is this Jay-Z?" I almost made him pull over the vehicle. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Okay, I understand that you don't do culture, but like, come on, you don't know the difference between Jay-Z and Kanye, and he didn't. And I explained to him the difference. I was like, "Okay, no, you got to get into some Kanye West music." Next thing you know, Charlie's really getting into some Kanye West music. He's running 10 miles a day. He got really into running. And he's texting me about how great it is. Like there's this text, Charlie. He's like, "Yes, it's my new favorite song." And he just loved it. Kanye's Power kind of became our theme song for the tour. I have no idea why, but that was our hype song before we went on stage. So you can only imagine when just a couple of months later, we've been listening to Kanye's old albums on repeat. Suddenly Kanye West tweets, "I love the way Candace Owens thinks." The excitement. Okay, we were certain that we had manifested it. We were 100%, we manifested this by listening to Power on repeat. Actually, I found a clip of us backstage on that day when that tweet happened. And we were doing what I used to refer to as like the Charlie dance. Here it is. You don't understand like the divinity of him tweeting that. Like,
I'm living in that 21st century. There's something meaning to it.
That man deserved to die. This is what we're talking about. There are people online trying to tell you that just because this man's opinion was that of the opposite of theirs, he deserved what he got. I don't understand it. I never will. I pray that I never have to speak to any of those people again. And it is just one of the craziest things that we have ever experienced. I mean, we were talking to my neighbor about it last night. My neighbor is now 100% seriously considering pulling her children out of public school and homeschooling, cyber, whatever the thing you do at home with the kids, because God forbid, like Megs and I are now, like, do we have to get our son, who is 6 years old, a bulletproof backpack? And these are now the conversations that parents are having to have. These are the conversations that we need to discuss before we start sending our kids back. Like, I mean, it is a serious problem in this country, and I just pray that with the events that happened this week and the events that I'm sure are going to continue to happen throughout this country that are just utterly disturbing and wrong and at the cost of innocent lives, that we start to, I don't know, maybe make a change. Maybe start doing something. I don't know what it is. I don't know if we need to start at a state level or a federal level or a minuscule. Just do something about this, because if it is a situation where I don't know how to handle myself when I live in a country where the news is this every other day. I cannot tell you, there's nothing else on the news. There's nothing else for us to talk about this week. There's one or two things, but when it comes down to the majority of it, I don't know how to process what just happened. I wasn't even a fan of Charlie Kirk. I didn't know really what he stood for until about a month ago. Like, I just discovered who he was. I mean, I know the South Park thing happened, which, by the way, South Park has now taken down their episode of Charlie Kirk. I mean, they just did an episode of the Charlie Kirk show in his memoriam. I mean, listen to this. I mean, the host of the show, I mean, it must go on, but they are holding back tears. I mean, just listen to this.
So badly to do this show for all of you today.
The chair's empty.
And I wanted the friends of this show and of Charlie that knew him best, the Thought Crime crew, to be here in the studio to commemorate our friend, our dear brother, for this sacred, this solemn moment, this occasion none of us ever dreamed we would have to do. And here we are, because Charlie would want us to be here. He would be upset if we weren't here. And we, of course, have left his chair open and empty because nobody will ever fill it. Nobody could ever hope to. But by all of us together, we want to honor him, and we want to be more like him, and we want to be inspired by him, and we want you in the audience to know him like we knew him, and to be up close and personal to the front row seat to history, to a legend, to an American icon that we got every single day.
Yep. So, I mean, it is Mano Day. It's a sad week. It's a sad day. His body was transported from Utah on Air Force Two, accompanied by the Vice President J.D. Vance, and they took him home to, I believe, Phoenix, Arizona, where him and his wife resided. This is the listen to this. This is something you probably didn't hear or see. This is air traffic control welcoming Air Force Two with Charlie and his family back to Phoenix. Listen to this.
On the visual 26. South 1555 Phoenix Center, wind 2409, runway 26, clear line. Clear line 26, Southwest 1555.
Welcome home, Charlie. You didn't deserve it. May God bless your family.
And that pretty much sums up the entire thing. Like, God bless his family, whether you believe in that or not. And it just, at the end of the day, based on words that came out of his mouth, Charlie Kirk 100% didn't deserve anything or anything along these lines of tragedy that occurred this week, just 48 hours ago. So if you're still with me, man, I mean, shout out to you guys for listening to the pod. I'll do my best to kind of switch. We're gonna hopefully do the back half of this episode maybe a little bit more positively, maybe some good news here, since it's just kind of all been bad news this week. I believe yesterday, if not early this morning, we got another Nintendo Direct, and usually we don't report on Nintendo Directs, but some news that is good and that we were expecting, and some surprises along the way. But basically, ladies and gentlemen, we got the official announcement, the official poster, and the official teaser trailer for the all-new Super Mario movie. The Super Mario Galaxy movie is what they're calling it. We're going straight to Super Mario Galaxy. It's, you know what I mean? It's controversial kind of in the Mario community, but that's what we're getting. And so along with that news, I said we did get the teaser trailer. I'll have that up on the screen. I'm not going to play any of the audio because we know Mario and Nintendo specifically love to sue the shit out of their biggest fans. You know what I mean? If you stream a Nintendo game, if you put their trailer or the game anywhere in your content, they'll basically sue you because it's their property and they can. So we're not going to get the podcast taken down if our Charlie Kirk bit didn't already, if we might have gotten a little hype and said some things we didn't mean. But so here's some screen grabs for you, Candy, of the new Super Mario Galaxy movie. And also with that news, we are getting Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2, the games remastered for the Nintendo Switch 2. I believe just the Nintendo Switch 2. Not sure if it's coming for the Nintendo Switch. Hopefully it does. Hopefully it's not just a Nintendo Switch 2 only title, but if it is fine. That'll be just one more thing for you to play on your new Nintendo Switch 2. But, you know what I mean? Mario Galaxy, that's going to be 70 bands. That's going to be $70 for Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2 remastered for the Nintendo Switch. Of course, Nintendo, they charged us, what did they charge us, 60? They charged us 60 for 3D All-Stars, and we all happily paid that. So $10 more with Trump's tariffs in place. Well, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? So $70 for that new game. And, of course, we also got a new Yoshi game coming for the Switch 2 as well. Kind of like Yoshi's Story, you got to jump into a book, you got to find new power-ups and things you can swallow that do different things, run through the flowers, swallow the flower, you know what I mean? It's a whole new Yoshi game coming to the Switch 2, and we're excited for that as well. Plenty of other announcements. I think there were some Pokemon announcements, but I'm a Mario guy first, so that's where we're going to be. Are we excited for the Super Mario Galaxy movie coming out April 2026? Yes. The first Super Mario movie was just a slam dunk. I mean, the animation, the story, the cast, same cast, by the way. We've got Jack Black coming back. We got Charlie Day coming back. We've got, who else? Chris Pratt coming back. And of course, we have Anna Taylor coming back as Peach. Okay, so original cast for the sequel. It's going to make a billy. It's going to make an instant $1 billion here and overseas. I mean, if this isn't already a success, it'll be 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. And that is everything that you can expect from the new Mario movie out next year. I mean, shout out to them for not making it a 2027 release and giving it to us in 2026. So April 2026, we've got less than a year. And we have the Mario movie number 2, Super Mario Galaxy, the movie. Now, some people would argue when you start sending a franchise to space, it gets a little rocky, okay? Hopefully they don't ruin the Mario franchise by sending it to space. I don't think they will, but you know what I mean? Talk about what? The Jason movie, Jason in space or whatever, right? Alien versus Predator in space. I think that whole thing was in space. Never mind. Scratch that one. Whatever other movies, whenever they send them, Fast and Furious went to space, right? If you remember that, then that franchise, downhill, you know what I mean? Every time you go to space, your franchise is over. What was it? Leprechaun in space? Done. Franchise over. Every time. So, Mario movie, it's coming. I can't wait. If you haven't seen the first Mario movie, dude, just watch it. I think it's on Peacock probably. And if you are interested in anything that has to do with Nintendo or Mario, check out the Nintendo Direct that just happened. And then, hey, man, the only news that really we need to also talk about is the insane world that we live in, where we have Alex Cooper bringing us the announcement for the all-new Bachelorette. And ladies, surprise, if you thought we were going into a new season of The Bachelor, no way, Jose. And if you thought for a second we were getting a Bachelorette that was already established in the Bachelorette franchise, you got another thing coming, babes, because guess what? At ABC, ratings are down, okay? And we can't just pick any old Bachelor girl from The Bachelor to be the next Bachelorette anymore, because let's face it, it hasn't been working out in their favor. The marriages haven't been lasting. Shocker. Shocker there. The relationships on reality TV in 2025 and 2024 and beyond haven't been working. Wow, dude, what a surprise. So at the end of the day, ABC and their parent company Disney did the only thing they could do. Family-friendly company Disney Plus, who owns ABC, who runs the Bachelor and Bachelorette shows, thought, what better way to announce the new Bachelorette than to call Gluck Gluck 9000, Barstool Sports, Spotify exclusive now on Sirius XM, Alex Cooper, call her daddy herself. She can't give any more blowjob advice because she's literally given it all. Once she dropped that Gluck Gluck 9000 bomb on episode 3 of Call Her Daddy, it was over from there. There was no more advice that Miley Cyrus or the Sprouse twins or any one of her guests could come onto her podcast and give than the Gluck Gluck 9000. So what better way to call unwell queen herself, Call Her Daddy Alex Cooper, to announce the latest Bachelorette than Alex Cooper and the Call Her Daddy podcast? Get her on the phone because we've got a new Bachelorette. And after 20 fucking thousand seasons, we're not just plucking an old busted Bachelorette out of the lineup that we've had before on the show. No, we're going off script. We're plucking someone straight out of another reality show. We're talking Mormon wife herself, Taylor, baby. We're talking that Taylor gang. We're talking Taylor at the swinger parties. Taylor from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, baby. She's hot. She's exclusive. She's controversial. She's good for ratings. Make her the next Bachelorette. And guess what, fellas? The auditions, hey, they're open. Get your auditions in now. If you want to date Mr. Steal Your Girl, if you want to date innocent Mormon girl Taylor, who, also in her free time, loves to twerk on TikTok, hashtag mom talk, hashtag swinger party, hashtag listen, Taylor's down to clown, hashtag Taylor get in the shower with your husband, Taylor get in the shower with you and your husband, Taylor get in bed with your husband, Taylor blindfold your husband, Taylor will make out with your husband while you're blindfolded while you're sucking her husband's cock. It's a soft swingers party, and baby girl, we're having sex in the shower. And what better way to boost the ratings at the Bachelorette offices than to have someone hot and controversial who's down to clown on the Call Her Daddy podcast talk about giving a Gluck Gluck 9000 out in Utah. We're talking swingers party to the max, controversial. These girls love to use and read about themselves on Reddit. It's the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And by God, if you have not watched this show, spend the money. Spend whatever money you can find and get a subscription to Hulu or online somewhere, wherever you can find a clip of this show. These girls are fucking hot, dude. As soon as Megs turned on episode 1, I turned to her and said, baby girl, how do I become Mormon? Because if this is the pool of women that we have to choose from in the Mormon community, sign me up, babes. They're all hot as shit. It's 10 out of 10 of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. They've got that one, they've got that one friend. They've got that one girlfriend that they just invited into the group that is definitely Mormon. I don't know what her name is. They've got that one friend who's definitely still Mormon and isn't down to clown with any of Taylor's antics. She's not going to a Taylor party, trust me. She's got plenty of invites, and she's like, listen, babe, I know it's not just Tupperware. I know you're not just trying to sell me Pampered Chef at one of these parties. I'm leaving my husband at home. Yes or yes, thank you. Okay, but the rest of Mom Talk, I'm talking platinum blonde. I'm talking tits out. I'm talking shaking that ass. I'm talking hashtag mom talk, babe. If you haven't seen all of Utah's hashtag mom talk fiascos, watch episode 1. That's all you'll need. All you'll need is the first 10 minutes. The first 10 minutes of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives to fully understand the scandal and that these girls are just straight up down to clown. And if all of that isn't going to boost the ratings of this season of The Bachelorette, well then by God, ABC, cancel it. If this doesn't work, having Alex Cooper with the quote, biggest podcast on the planet, to introduce us all to Taylor and to talk about the scandal and talk about the controversy and talk about her current. She had a husband, they got divorced, she had a new boyfriend, then they broke up. Now she's a bachelorette. What's Dustin gonna say? Oh no. What's Dustin gonna say when he finds out that Taylor's the next bachelorette? What could possibly go wrong? I'm sure you'll find out on the all-new season of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and then tune in, because come January, we've got an all-new season of The Bachelorette, babes. And I mean, what a modern-day Kim K. You know what I mean? This girl, Taylor, is kicking off her career with the blowjob heard through the Mormon community. Taylor's ousted. She's not welcome at the church anymore. They're like, hey, babe, you sucked all of our husbands' cocks while they were blindfolded. That's still cheating, and we're not down with that. Well, some of them are, and the ones who are afraid to admit it, there's a whole group of wives who are afraid to admit that they're not down with the soft swingers parties. But hey, let's face it, we know what's going on behind the scenes, whether you bitches like to admit it or not. They're all having fun, okay? And so it was bored. It was COVID. They were blindfolded. It's not cheating if you were blindfolded. Talk about a modern-day Kim Kardashian situation. You got your fame. You got the book deal. You got the TV show deal. Now you're the next bachelorette. You got the podcast appearances. Everyone knows your name because you stepped out of your marriage. And if that's one thing that our friend Charlie Kirk would have been against, it's that, dude. And there's no way Charlie Kirk would have been watching this season of The Bachelorette. Now, let's face it, his wife probably will. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like, hey, man, like, let's go. Let's go. If this is what The Bachelorette is doing this year, I'm watching. Guess what? Never watched a season of The Bachelorette in my life, and now this year I'm watching every episode, babes. I'm watching every single episode because it's going to be spicy. It's going to be juicy. It's going to be filled with 25 hot and horny men who have no prior knowledge of who Taylor is, except for the fact that they've maybe read a thing or two on Reddit and they watched the first 10 minutes of Mormon Wives. I may or may not have signed up for this season of The Bachelorette to be one of the contestants. Megs gave me her blessing. I'm just going to see if we can maybe, is she still the old Taylor, or has she changed her ways? I'm going to put her to the test and be like, yo, you and me, we could sneak out back right now. Let's go. Day 1, episode 1, I'm shooting my shot. I'm shooting my shot with Taylor on a private one-on-one as soon as I step out of the limo. Don't talk to the rest of the guys in the limo. Let's break the rules right now and go upstairs. I'm testing her as soon as I step out of the limo. And you know that there are going to be guys who definitely do. They are going to find the douchiest, the most F-boy, the most craziest guys to date this girl on this season of The Bachelorette. And then also, too, they're going to sprinkle in a couple. They'll probably give us like one virgin, one guy who's like half a virgin, but kind of like super religious, and then a few other nerds just to switch it up. But at the end of the day, you can bet your bottom dollar by the season finale of the show, the top 3 men of this season of The Bachelorette are going to be rock hard chiseled 6-pack douchers who are clearly going to hook up with her as soon as the show is over, propose like they're supposed to, and then in 6 months when we get the reunion, when we're all caught up on what actually happened after we witnessed the show live, boop, they're not together anymore. Go figure. And so, listen, man, I might tap Carlos. If Carlos is into it, we might do some recap and record. We might put it on that channel. Who knows what the fate of that show is going to be. But at the end of the day, I mean, if you're not ready, if you are not willing to take this journey with us, if you are not excited for this season of The Bachelorette, by God, buckle up, because I'm going to be here every week. I'm going to be here every week breaking down the rose ceremonies. I'm going to be here every week literally making categories of the contestants, who she wants to have sex with based on day one interactions. I mean, we're going to have a whole spreadsheet. I'm going to be on top of this season of The Bachelorette way more than my wife is going to be, way more than any other fans, way more than anyone. I'm going to be there day one. I'm going to know everything. I'm going to know everything. I'm going to break it down, and I'm going to be back here. This podcast is going to turn into a Bachelorette podcast day one. As soon as I get more news, as soon as we get the cast, as soon as we get the people who are going to be on this show before the show even starts, you're going to know. So if you're a Bachelorette fan, subscribe. If you're a Bachelor fan, subscribe. If you are a friend of mine and haven't done so already, subscribe to this podcast. And dude, speaking of cast, guess what? We've got a whole new season of Love is Blind coming soon to Netflix. And by God, listen to this cast. I mean, this cast is special. This show needs to be canceled. This show needs to go away. This show needs a reworked format in a major way, because this is the all-new cast of Love is Blind, and we've got a bunch of losers. Look at these people. You know
the emotions in the whole world.
Here we go.
Nervous, excited, optimistic.
Why wouldn't I meet my future husband on the other side of a wall?
Okay. Meet the season 9 singles. Here we go. Ready?
In previous relationships, I was often told, you're doing too much. And that's something I'm not willing to sacrifice, is changing who I am.
If I have to sacrifice my family to be with someone, I don't believe that would end up being a true
normal
love.
person.
My spiritual faith, I just would want somebody who shares
normal
some sort of
person.
spirituality.
Emotional vulnerability. I want to make sure that we're always honest with each other at the end of the day.
Normal person.
Because that is a really big part of my life. I enjoy competing for really high stakes and making high pressure decisions.
My passion to be around other people that are also excited to live life to the fullest. I also love dried mangoes, so I wouldn't give those up either.
Okay.
My biggest
weird, but okay.
Would be their room smelling like they're a college athlete. I have yet to understand.
A smelly
why we're
room,
almost
gross.
30 and your room still smells like
that's disgusting.
Being disrespectful to their parents or being really messy.
Okay.
Jealousy, someone who's controlling. I mean, and then there's the obvious gamers. I'm sorry. Who's a gamer?
Loser!
Really gives me the ick.
Gross.
When I graduated high school, there was 25 kids in my class. I'm a really small town girl. I love to travel, but my roots are definitely in a small town.
That I beat all the boys in fantasy football.
I eat my boogers.
Okay, that's it. What's his name? Edmund. Edmund the realtor is the winner. He is the winner. There's nothing else to say. We now have to watch. I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to put myself through another Nick and Vanessa Lachey hosted stupid format of a show, Love is Blind season. Only one of them ends up together. And it's like, hey, man, if I want anyone to find love, it's Edmund, dude. If Edmund doesn't find love, none of the other contestants do. Edmund's the realest person here. Edmund, I've changed my mind. Edmund's the realest person on this list. I thought everyone else was normal. They're all a bunch of fake-ass liars. If you're telling me as a grown adult you still don't pick your nose and are afraid to admit it on a show like Love is Blind, like Edmund, get out. The show's not for you. You clearly have insecurities you're not being truthful about. And at the end of the day, you're not going to make it on this show because you're too picky and you're representing as too of a perfect person. And then when we get to the apartment and eventually the marriage phase of the show, you're going to back out because they're going to see the real you. And if you were the real you in the pods, you wouldn't have had this problem to begin with. If you were real like Edmund, if you were honest like Edmund from day freaking one, then you wouldn't have problems. Edmund is going to go the whole way. Edmund's going to go from the start all the way to the marriage. Now, the girl that Edmund ends up with is probably going to say no because at the end of the day, she's going to be too classy of a girl to say yes to the whole booger picking thing. But at the end of the day, Edmund is going to be the realest. He's going to be the realest freaking contestant that we have ever seen on Love is Blind this far. I love it. I'm in now. I'm in. I wasn't in before, but now I'm in, dude. And I am so ready for The Bachelorette and Love is Blind Season 9. These shows are stepping it up finally. These last few seasons have been rocky, but now I'm finally back in. Thank you. Thank you, Netflix. Thank you, Nick Lachey. Edmund, listen to this again. Edmund, dude. I love Edmund.
I eat my boogers. Might be a little too much, but I do eat them.
He eats them, dude, okay? I thought he just picked them. He eats them. It's a little gross, but Edmund's a real one. Blake looks like a freaking serial killer, too. Let's look at Blake.
Might be a little too much, but I do eat them.
Gross.
I bought my home a few years ago. It's actually for the dog. she's getting a little big.
English is not even my first language.
Okay, so he loves his dog too much.
In Russia.
So most people wouldn't know that I have a blinding eye condition. There's a good chance that I will go blind at some point in my life. This experiment is more than just an experiment for me because it stimulates what my life could be.
My friends and family would describe me as very grounded and sympathetic.
Cute.
I think they would just describe me as like a big heart.
He's cute.
Fun person who
She's cute.
Confident.
She's
and
cute.
Independent and a badass woman.
Energetic and just.
Which one of these is going to take Edmund home?
I'm looking for someone that's secure
Shelby.
and ready to have an exciting life together.
You guys think Shelby will be okay with Edmund's booger eating? I'm trying to figure out who Edmund's going to end up with here. It's either going to be Shelby. It's either going to be Shelby or China.
And a badass woman.
Energetic and just an
Such
overall
a hard,
fun person to be around.
I'm looking for someone that's secure and ready to have an exciting life together.
And she laughs at my jokes and I laugh at her, and we just kind of are on the same page with our humor.
Someone who is nice and respectful. Someone who's smart.
Like her.
Someone who's funny. Someone who's ambitious. Athletic, because I love to play sports.
Someone who's consistent with outlook on life. And
he seems like the guy who was on like 3 seasons ago. She's cute.
Be a better person and somebody that I can do the same
like
for.
her.
Someone that compliments me well.
He looks
honestly,
okay.
just someone who's nice.
Jensen, like that name.
I think one thing that
he
could
looks
potentially get on
alright.
my partner's nerves
Brendan.
is I tend to be a fixer. I like to fix things.
Probably be sarcastic. Probably too much.
Love that.
My eating habits, and I'll just tell you guys. So my go-to breakfast
boogers.
is...
If we have 2 guys, I swear to God, if he says my go-to breakfast is boogers and we have 2 booger eaters on this season, I'm burning down the house.
8 ounces of cooked chicken breast and 2 ounces of water, put in a blender with some lemonade Mio.
Oh. Chicken, water, and lemonade for breakfast in a blender.
Love movies. I love movie quotes then, so I do speak a lot of quotes.
Sometimes I will whistle. It gets annoying.
Like Joe?
Sure. This experience definitely has me excited and hopeful.
This is my time. This is my moment.
I'm excited. I'm ready to get in there and push away looks and
hopefully meet the love of my life.
Does it?
Yeah, buddy. Listen, he's at the top. Edmund's at the top of the list. All these other guys have nothing, absolutely zero gains on Edmund. If he doesn't win, do they win Love is Blind? I think winning Love is Blind means you get to spend the rest of your life with your new best friend. So if Edmund doesn't win this season of Love is Blind, I feel really bad for all the women because they missed out. They missed out on a perfectly honest and handsome man like Edmund. Yes. Does he pick his nose and eat his boogers? Yes. Is that is that an issue for most people? Probably. But at the end of the day, that's what this show's all about. You have to be 100% honest with the person because as soon as they see you, if you lied to them, they'll know. And then love isn't truly blind and you failed the experiment. And then we just have to go right on to season 10, which I'm sure is coming soon. I'm sure there's already 15 more seasons of the show already in the pipeline, ready to go because we keep on watching it. We keep on watching it. That's how sick we are. Well, hey, listen, when the news is so utterly disgusting, when the news is disgusting, when social media is disgusting, all we see is people getting assassinated. And then when we go over to the other social media, we see people who we thought were our friends celebrating what we just saw on social media. I mean, when the world is utter shit, the only thing The only thing that we have to look forward to in this life is animated movies and who the next Bachelorette's going to be and which one of the contestants on Love is Blind eats their boogers and picks their nose. And if you're not honest about that, what else are you lying about? Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Levi McCurdy. Thank you guys so much for rocking with me. I am so sorry that the first half of this episode was such an emotional type of situation, but sometimes that's what the news is. Sometimes that's what reality has become, and that's just how we have to live. When there's nothing else to talk about, when the only thing dominating the timeline and TikTok and your house and conversations with friends and neighbors and social media and the news and everything else going on in the world is this, it's what we have to discuss, and it's my outlet, and I'm sorry if I've offended any of you. I hope that if your opinions are that of the opposite of mine, that you don't take lethal action and that you just simply block me instead. And if you see me out in public, please just look the other way, because I pray that because of this, we do not lose. We do not want to lose our ability to have freedom of speech, because something that Charlie Kirk thought he had as of 72 hours ago quickly changed, and it is now very scary for people like me who on a weekly basis give their publicly opinion to the masses, to the internet, to TikTok, to social media, to the point where it may not land with every single listener or every single person that clicks on one of these videos or my clips or my shorts or my reels, to the point where they feel so obligated that my opinion should no longer be heard by anyone ever again, to the point where we need to reach the form of assassination. And I pray that we get better. I pray that we do better. I pray that we stop segregating things like it is the left and that is the right. We are all humans. Politics aside, opinions aside, he was a human being, you are a human being, and so am I. And for that, we are all equal. I don't care what your opinion is. I don't care what your beliefs are. If you are a human being, I respect you for that fact alone until I have to otherwise. And to the people who do evil on this planet, and to those who do bad upon others, and to those who have, and to those who will in the future, shame on you. I hope that something or someone or just that of a higher power somehow intervenes before you commit such acts, and you don't do it. You know what I mean? It's best if you just don't freaking do it. Shout out to the people who arrested the monster who was responsible for Charlie Kirk's death, and he will forever be remembered as someone who just really, really had a passion for speaking and debating, and he died doing what he loved. And for that, I'm sure was probably the only way that Charlie himself would tell you that he would want to go. Doing something he loved, doing something he was passionate about, and doing something he desperately, desperately wanted everyone else to care about. And that was just his opinions on religion, politics, life, social media, and that thereof, just how human beings should live on a daily basis. Whether you agreed with him or not, I am sorry. I am so sorry that this is the world that we live in. To my son, my family, I pray that the world gets better for you and you alone, and everyone listening, my friends, and just stay safe, be careful, and just do good, and just be nice. Just say hi to someone. If you're not if you don't normally say hi to someone you don't know, passing them at the grocery store or out in public, do that today, and just try to put a smile on someone's face. If you put a smile on one person's face today, you've done good, and can rest assured that you are better than most of the other people that we have seen and that we have heard from this week on social media and in person and on the news and thereof alike, who would have the audacity to celebrate a man's death. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. My name's Levi McCurdy. I'll catch you next week for a much happier and a much better show. Hopefully, we'll be back on that side of the studio in front of the backdrop and ready to go for a full-fledged episode 207 coming at you next Friday. Have a good weekend, everybody. Peace out.